Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we'll be making trouser for plus size ladies, and this video is going to be slower than usual and kind of long, but you're going to get every necessary information that you need for any type of size of trouser. But this it works perfectly for everybody, but especially for plus size. So for my measurement, I'm going to deduct my band for this, and my band is 2 inches, but I'm starting my measurement from 1.5 because half inch I'm going to use it to join the band. So from there I'm going to mark from my waist to my hip measurement, which is 10 inches. Then I'm going to go ahead and mark my crash, and for that I'm going to be dividing my hip measurement by 4, and my hip is 48 divided by 4. I have 12 inches. I'm going to be marking at 12 inches because I like my trouser higher than my waist, kind of maybe by 1 inch or so. But if you want yours to be at your waist, exactly at your waist, please mark at deduct 1 inch from what you have and then mark at that place. Then if you're marking for high waist, you can add 2 inches or 3 inches depending on how high you want it to be. And then from there I'm going to go ahead and mark my actual length because this is short, which is 21 inches, and I'm just marking the full paper because I want to show you guys a little more if you want to make trouser for this. And I'm going to go ahead and connect the lines. So I went ahead to label the lines that I have there. That's the hip, the crouch, and then the length. So I'm going to, the first measurement I'm going to take is my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch allowance. That's 12.5. That's 13 inches. My hip measurement divided by 4 is 12 plus 1 is 13 inches. So that's what I just marked. And that what I marked now, I'm going to extend it to my waistline. That is going to serve as my center waist, my center line per se. So from that line I'm going to go ahead and take my that measurement, which is 4 inches. Then I mark the line, I mark the 4 inches. Then from there my dart line is supposed to be 5 inches. Remember, you are going to start from the band, so the band is already 2 inches, so you're supposed to start your measurement at 3.5 inches for the dart. That's what you're going to mark here, but for me I marked at 5, which I adjusted when I was done. So at that line I'm going to mark 1/2 inch at both sides and then connect it to where my dart is going to stop. And this is it after I was done inserting my dart. So next thing I'm going to do is to mark my waist measurement, which is 40 inches. Then divided by 2 is 10 plus 1 inch allowance for that, and then 1 inch allowance for allowance. That's what I'm going to mark there, which is 12 inches. So I'm going to mark as at 12 and then connect this line to my hip line. Just follow exactly what I'm doing at this place. If you get your measurement right, this trouser or short is going to be perfect for the person you're making it for, and this works for any size. But the reason why I'm saying it's for plus size is because that's where we normally have our issues. So to get your crush depth or line, I'm going to divide my hip measurement, my exact hip measurement that I divided by 4, which is 12 inches. So that 12 inches, I'm going to as well divide it into 4. That's your hip measurement divided by 4. Whatever you have there, you're going to divide it by 4. So mine is 12 inches. Then I'm going to divide that 12 by 4, which is 3. So at my crush line, I'm going to extend it by 3 inches. That's what I just marked there. So I'm going to go ahead and then make a curve from my hip to my crouch line. If you have your French curve, you can use it to do it. This is the perfect way of getting your crouch length. So at that line I'm going to measure it, whatever I have there, I'm going to divide it into 2. That is, I'm trying to divide the trouser into 2 or the short into 2, so that when you ever start taking your measurements, it will be at the center and not when you wear your trousers it keeps going to the side or moving anyhow. So at that line is where I'll start taking my measurement, and before that I'm going to take my upper lap measurement or my thigh measurement, and from my cross line I'm going to go down by 3 inches. That's where I'm going to take my upper thigh or lap measurement, and I'm just going ahead to extend the line. So I'm just trying to label this so that you guys can know what the line is. Don't mind my writing this afternoon or morning or whatever time you're going to watching this video. So for my upper lap, my upper lap is 28, 24. I can't even remember the measurement. I'm going to put all the measurements in the description box. So I'm going to go ahead and divide it into two. All these measurements we are doing now from our lap down to the ankle is divided into two, so plus 1 inch allowance. That whatever I have there, I'm going to divide it into two, mark one measurement at the right side and then mark the other one at the left side. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. You are going to place the center of the measurement at the line we made marked at the center of the trouser, then mark half measurements of whatever you have at each side. Then for my length, because this I'm making a short for it, but this you can just extend it to the ankle. I'm going to do the same thing, mark my measurement, divide it into two. Remember we are going to add 1 inch, then divide it into two and then mark the measurement at half of it at right and then half of it at left. You're going to do it for the knee and for the ankle, and then you go ahead to connect the lines. Then when you connect this, you are going to kind of mark slant the where the trouser end away, like ½ inch away from the actual line, so that when you join it, you're not going to have issue there. So I just went ahead to cross check my lines, my measurements. This is what I was trying to say. You just slant it away from the actual measurement so that you don't have issues there when you are trying to turn the rough edges. And remember, you are going to add as extra inches, like 2 inches for the folding of the down part of it. So for the zipper, if you're going to be putting zip at this, I'm going to go ahead and mark 1.5 inches or 1 inch depending on how much you want, and then from the hip line I'm going up by 1 inch. Then I marked also the 1.5 inches that I'm for the zipper. I'm going to go ahead and connect this line, and that's my zipper area. I'm going to show you guys how to go about this while stitching it down. So that's all for this front part. I'm going to go ahead and then cut it out. Don't forget, don't look at the video. You are going to see how I'm going to cut out this zipper area. Just where I marked is where I'm going to cut. So after cutting the front part, you're going to transfer this to the back one, and whatever fabric you are transferring to, make sure that you have about or more than 2 inches at both sides of it, and then have about 2 inches at the upper side. So I just extended my waistline to the back one, and for that I'm going to take 2.2 inches from that waistline in, and then transfer it to the back side of the trouser, just like I'm doing. The reason for this is that the back of a woman is mostly deeper at that waistline, so that's why I reduce it there and then transfer it to the side. It's going to sit perfectly there, perfectly, why when you do this. So the next thing I'm going to do is from the where I have my center front, I'm going to where I have my waistline, I'm going to go up by 2 inches and then connect it to meet the center line of the front one. I'm going to go ahead and extend the front one so that we will know where our center line where this line is going to get to when I connect it. Just look at the video the way I'm doing it. Just do go ahead and do the same thing. Then at my hip line, I'm going to go ahead and then insert 2 inches for this. I'm not putting any allowance. The normally we usually go by the allowance at the crotch side, but that's for men. For this, I'm going to be doing this at the back side. So for my hip line, I added 2 inches, and then at my knee line, on thigh line, all those places, I'm going to add about 1.5 inches. So the only place I have more than 1.5 is my hip line. So I'm going to go ahead and then connect this, and the 1.5 inches is going to go all the way down to where the trouser or the short end, or you can add 2 inches, but mostly 1.5 works perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and connect the lines. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to extend my crush line, and at that place I'm going to be adding 2 inches there. So we're adding allowance at the crush and then at the hip line side, so that it sits at the middle instead of having it at 2 different places. And then this crush line, I'm going to go down by ½ inch. I'm not going to mark it at the exact crush line, but if you like, you mark it there. But the reason for this is sometimes when joining this, you discover that the front part is shorter than the back one. So that's the reason for going down by ½ inch. So I'm going to go ahead and then connect it to the line. Remember, we deducted 2 inches from the front line while we started marking the back one. So I'm going to try. If you have your French curve, if you can use it, but for this I do not have. I'm going to be using my hand to connect it as much as I can. So that's basically for the back one. I'm going to go ahead and then show you guys how to go about the cutting. We are not the stitching. We are not going to stitch all the way to where the video ends. I have a video on that. I'm just going to show you guys the basic of it. So I'm going to connect this cross line to the ankle, and that's all the allowance you're going to add for this. It's for the front part. Every other thing will be the same. And you're going to go ahead and then cut it off. If you haven't subscribed to my channel to this moment, what are you waiting for? Please hit on the subscribe button, join the growing family. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I'll leave a comment below if you have any question or any encouraging word. Please leave it below, and I really like to hear from you. So this is the front, and then this is the back. If you like, you can reduce your front part by 1 inch or 1.5 inches, depending on what works for you. So I just went ahead to transfer this to my fabric, and this is my back bodice. I lost a clip of where I did that, so I just transferred it. The first thing I'm going to go do is to stitch the crush area of the back one by around 1 inch. Then for this front one, we are going to start from, remember where we marked 1 inch away from the crush area hip line, right? So that's where you're going to start, and then stitch just like I showed you guys. Stitch from there to where the crush area stops. So I just use my pin to hold the zipper allowance to keep it in place. So the next thing I'm going to do is to open this and then place it front facing front, and then stitch the 2 sides. I'm going to show you guys as well the stitching the crush area. You see that it matched perfectly because of the ½ inch that we added. And we are going to go ahead the same way you attach your skirt zip or any other zip. How you're going to attach the zip of this one. Then remember, you're going to add your band before attaching the zip, then fold the rough edges. And that's all for this tie. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.